Now, recently, Nia Sarkeesian, in one of her dumbass tirades on Twitter, she said something about Lara Croft. Now, you know that the feminists and all the fucking SJWs love a good hiding of Lara Croft. They really love to use, at least early Lara Croft, you know, back when she had the big tits, to really use as a criticism against gaming. You know, it's like, oh, this is how they use sexism to sell games. It's like, no, they use sex to sell games, and that's okay, but I'll be arguing that later. Now, you understand, well, not only is it stupid at face value when you actually hear what I'm about to tell you, but then when you look at other examples later, it becomes just a lobotomized version of stupidity. So this is what she says. Refreshing to see Lara Croft wearing a jacket while trudging through snow, and it's not DLC this time. Hashtag appropriate clothing. E3 2015. Now, it's the eagle-eyed gamers quickly realised that in Tomb Raider 2 back in the 90s, she wore a coat in the snow. Alright? She wore a coat in the snow. And that is appropriate clothing. Alright? Plus, it's a video game. Okay? They don't have to wear appropriate clothing. It's fantasy. But of course, as we know, Sarkeesian Tosh couldn't know what fucking fantasy and reality was if it hit them square in the face. Sue me, fucking SJWs. I use a violent phrase. Now, this ties in with their whole obsession with body size, body image, body representation in media, etc. Because, quite frankly, I am sick of this fucking bullshit that they peddle constantly. And they're not the only ones who have done it, you know. Appropriate clothing, wasn't that what they were saying in the Victorian era, you know? In the 1600s and 1700s, they were fucking terrified of men, and maybe women, of being turned on by piano legs, that they had this crazy fashion thing to have piano legs covered by these little dresses, because, you know, back then you couldn't show any ankles, and these people are no different. It's like, oh, we can't have men actually being sexually attracted to these video game characters when really they're not. I mean, they might like the big tits, but it's like, nobody actually wanks off to this shit. It's not actually, well, maybe they do actually, but it doesn't matter. You know, nobody is going to harm women. Nobody is going to come with misogyny of looking at big tits. And this is where it comes into this body image thing that they're so obsessed over. It's like, I remember years ago, now this is only like, what, the last decade, so the 2000s. In the 2000s, what became in vogue for like models and porn, well, I guess mainstream porn, women became slimmer, you know, and as you know, in every decade, since time immemorial, there's always been different beauty standards, and you know, you could just look through the time, like, people do not look like what people look like even 20 years ago. Like, in 1995, the standard of beauty was different to what it was in 2015, okay? What it is now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Things just change. It doesn't mean that people suddenly hate particular body types, etc. It's just whatever's in vogue, you know. It's constantly in flux. Like women's bodies, funny enough. Constantly in flux, to quote my dad. Anyway. So, in the noughties, it was like, there was this backlash against size 0, which is completely stupid anyway. I mean, why would you want to basically starve yourself in order to fit into these crazy tiny like suits, etc. that only a minority of women actually can fit, and is actually unhealthy? You know, I mean, it is unhealthy to be size 0. Not a lot of women can help being size 0. Some of them are naturally very skinny, and there's not a lot they can do about it. Hey, I'm naturally skinny, and there's not a lot I can do about it. You know? Yeah, there's this backlash against it, and this is where these this fat shaming and these body acceptance feminists came from. The embers from which they rose came from that backlash against skinny models, which is still carrying on to this day, because, as you can probably notice, there's a lot of fucking fat feminists out there who hate skinny girls and skinny men, you know, because you've got to have that man hating in there somewhere. So why is this relevant? It's because it all links in perfectly with their hypocrisy about body image. Like, Lara Croft, when she first came onto the scene, of course she had big polygon boobs. and she had that for years. Like they admitted, yeah, we did it because sex sells, but that became a part of her character. People immediately after during playing the game forgot about the tits. Its trivial effect lasts like a minute or two. Then you're just playing the game and you love the character. She's fantastic. She's strong, female, feminine. She's not masculinized like a lot of these fucking feminists complain about female characters in video games. She's got an actual, for the time, because back then they couldn't accurately draw and program a proper body. They couldn't even program men's bodies properly, let alone women's. So she actually looked like a woman, and these women exist. There are women with big tits out there. What is wrong with them? You have these feminists who decry that the current in vogue, as far as I'm aware, body type that society likes is skinny or slim, slender, beach body ready. They hate those girls, but they're and you see it all the time on Tumblr and on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter. These stupid like idealistic representations of what 50s women look like, what 60s women look like. A real woman has curves, for example, and it's just like, you what? Real women are neither curvy or slim. Real women are women who are strong, independent, and don't give a shit about that. Real women don't care. Real women are mature, responsible adults who can look after themselves. The actual woman who don't need no man, Yeah, they have the cheek to attack these curvy women in video games, and I know they don't exist, and this is what always drives me crazy, because these women don't exist, yet they're being slut-shamed by people like Anita Sarkeesian because they're curvy and have big tits, and apparently that's sexist and objectifying women. Sexual objectification doesn't exist. The human beings are superficial. Human beings are superficial, okay? That's a sad fact. Life is not fair. Life is not full of, oh, I love you for your personality. No, not everyone loves someone immediately for their personality. Personality often comes later. I'm sorry, but when I look at a woman that I've just seen in a club that I think is hot, it's not her personality because I've not talked to her yet. I'm sorry, but I'm going to look at the nearest thing that I find attractive about her, okay? People superficial like that. That's how there's 7 billion people in the world today. And yet these women have the nerve to put curvy and, mainly fat women on the pedestal below skinny people, yet at the same time will kick them off that pedestal if they happen to have too many polygons in the torso area. And then in the remake, we see Lara Croft with her boobs shortened and wearing jeans. I don't really care if she's wearing jeans or not, but she's now the conservative, appropriate clothing Lara Croft. She's now, lost a part of what made her Lara Croft. That gave her femininity. Femininity is many different body types. There is no one thing that you can say is feminine, but for what made Lara Croft feminine was gone. It was replaced with just stick figure. What society actually has in these beauty model magazines, etc. She looks more like them. And they still complained. They complained that she now didn't look like a woman. She's now a man in a woman's clothing, a masculinized character. You can't please these people. They're hypocrites. This is what I'm saying. On the one hand, they loved the idea of the curvy 50s woman, which didn't actually exist, to be fair. Yes, they were curvy, but they weren't all voluptuous. There's loads of actresses that weren't voluptuous, and they were skinny, but they were still seen as the epitome of sexy women. In the 20s, you had your curvy women, but a lot of them were skinny and slim, like Mary Pickford. I don't know if she was necessarily a sex symbol, probably, but Clara Bow. She's kind of got a bit of a curvy figure, but overall, You know, she's skinnier than, say, a burlesque model from the 50s, you know? Yeah, apparently she would... Well, actually, yeah, if she was alive today, she'd be part of skinny privilege, wouldn't she? And that... Oh, also, they wouldn't like the fact that she was a flapper, you know, and kind of, you know, women go their own way kind of thing. You see what I did there? Because she was suddenly did her own thing, and feminists don't like that. Feminists will only go for what they like when it suits their agenda. Are you a curvy video game character? To the gallows, to the pyre from which you will be burned at the stake. Are you skinny and in the video game and wearing a coat hiding what little breasts you actually have? Brilliant! You are a saint. Let's make a church and put a statue of you in it and hope that you bleed. You know, you know what I'm referring to. You know, hope you cry blood because we worship you. Are you fat or curvy in real life? Fantastic, we want you. We'll make a statue of you and place flowers at the memorial of your death. That's hypocrisy, people, and it pisses me off. I am sick of it. There is nothing wrong with big tits. People love big tits. There is nothing wrong with big-titted women. What is this obsession they have with them? So what if they use sex sells and men are used too? Muscular men are used to sell all sorts of stuff. It's not just women. Yet apparently that doesn't sexual objectification doesn't exist with men, does it? Anyway, I could go on, but I'd be repeating myself. You get the gist of it. This has been CharmingMan93. Like and share the video. Drop a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.